and I begin to ask myself what it could have been, this unremembered state which brought with it no logical proof, but the indisputable evidence of its felicity, its reality, and in whose presence other states of consciousness melted and vanished. I decide to attempt to make it reappear. I retrace my thoughts to the moment at which I drank the first spoonful of tea. I rediscover the same state illuminated by no fresh light. I ask my mind to make one further effort, to bring back once more the fleeting sensation, and so that nothing may interrupt it in its course, I shut out every obstacle, every extraneous idea. I stop my ears and inhibit all attention against the sound from the next room. And then, feeling that my mind is tiring itself without having any success to report, I compel it for a change to enjoy the distraction which I have just denied it, to think of other things, to rest, refresh itself before making a final effort. And then for the second time, I clear an empty space in front of it. I place in position before my mind's eye the still recent taste of that first mouthful, and I feel something start within me, something that leaves its resting place and attempts to rise, something that has been embedded like an anchor at a great depth. I do not yet know what it is, but I can feel it mounting slowly. I can measure the resistance. I can hear the echo of great spaces traversed. Undoubtedly, what is thus palpitating in the depths of my being must be the image, the visual memory which, being linked to that taste, is trying to follow it into my conscious mind. But its struggles are too far off, too confused and chaotic. Scarcely can I perceive the neutral glow into which the elusive whirling melody of stirred-up colors is fused, and I cannot distinguish its form, cannot invite it as the one possible interpreter to translate for me the evidence of its contemporary, its inseparable paramour. The taste cannot ask it to inform what special circumstance is in question, from what period in my past life. Will it ultimately reach the clear surface of my consciousness, this memory, this old dead moment which the magnetism of an identical moment has travelled so far to importune, to disturb, to raise up out of the very depths of my being? I cannot tell. Now I feel nothing. It has stopped, has perhaps sunk back into its darkness, from which who can say whether it will ever rise again? 10 times over I must essay the task, must lean down over the abyss, and each time the cowardice that deters us from every difficult task, every important enterprise, has urged me to leave the thing alone, to drink my tea and to think merely of the worries of today and my hopes for tomorrow, which can be brooded over painlessly. And suddenly the memory revealed itself. The taste was that of the little piece of Madeleine which on Sunday mornings at Combray, because on those mornings I did not go out before Mass, when I went to say good morning to her in her bedroom, my Aunt Leonie used to give me, dipping at first in her own cup of tea or tisane. The sight of the little Madeleine had recalled nothing to my mind before I tasted it, perhaps because I had so often seen such things in the meantime, without tasting them, on the trays in pastry cooks' windows, that their image had disassociated itself from those Combray days to take its place among others more recent. Perhaps because of those memories, so long abandoned and put out of mind, nothing now survived. Everything was scattered. The shapes of things, including that of the little scallop shell of pastry, so richly sensual under its severe religious folds, were either obliterated, or had been so long dormant as to have lost the power of expansion which would have allowed them to resume their place in my consciousness. But when from a long distant past nothing subsists, and the people are dead, after the things are broken and scattered, taste and smell alone, more fragile but more enduring, more unsubstantial, more persistent, more faithful, remain poised a long time, like souls, remembering, waiting, hoping, amid the ruins of all the rest, and bear unflinchingly in the tiny and almost impalpable drop of their essence the vast structure of recollection. And as soon as I had recognized the taste of the piece of Madeleine soaked in her decoction of lime blossom which my aunt used to give me, although I did not yet know and must long postpone the discovery of why this memory made me so happy, immediately the old grey house upon the street where her room was rose up like a stage set, to attach itself to the little pavilion opening onto the garden which had been built out behind it for my parents, the isolated segment which until that moment had been all that I could see. And with the house, the town, from morning to night and in all weathers, the square where I used to be sent before lunch, the streets along which I used to run errands, the country roads we took when it was fine, and, as in the game wherein the Japanese amuse themselves by filling a porcelain bowl with water and steeping in it little pieces of paper, which until then are without character or form, but, the moment they become wet, stretch and twist and take on color and distinctive shape, become flowers or houses or people, solid and recognizable. So, in that moment, all the flowers in our garden, and in Monsieur Swann's park, and the water lilies on the Vivonne, and the good folk of the village, and their little dwellings, the parish church, and the whole of Cambrai and its surroundings, taking shape and solidity, sprang into being, town and gardens alike, from my cup of tea. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to let me know any other literary meals you'd like to see come to life.